Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and things in gaming can never ever be too good. If you've been following my channel for a while, for the last year or so, maybe even longer than that, I've been talking up Capcom and regarding them as one of, maybe even the best publisher in all of gaming today. I mean, you look at their lineup of games, they've been super consistent outside of things like Exoprimal wasn't great, a brand new IP, Pragmata is still in development, but in a 12-month span, it looks like Capcom is going to be releasing Street Fighter 6, the Resident Evil 4 remake, as well as Dragon's Dogma 2, barring that game gets any delays. What other publisher has a 12-month window like that? Maybe a Nintendo. Sony certainly hasn't been having a release structure like that. Capcom has just been incredibly consistent, and what I like about them is that they announce and reveal their games, and they follow them up with releases very quickly after. You see a lot of publishers these days, man, they're announcing games 5, 6, 7 years ahead of time. And sure, Pragmata has had its difficulty in development, but for the most part, Capcom has been pretty consistent in turning around games. And again, I've been calling them one of the best publishers in all of gaming. Well, obviously, as far as Capcom is concerned, there's gotta be some nonsense that does come. Capcom, as noted on social media, is adding DRM Enigma Protector to their back catalog of games. Now, obviously, DRM does help with fighting piracy and whatnot. Why adding it to your back catalog of games and why doing it in the first place is very head-scratching, but it is said that this prevents modding, cheat engine, and reduces performance by up to 10 to 15 frames per second with stutters. There have also been reports about certain games being completely broken on the Steam Deck now, game crashes, etc. The Enigma Protector is what it's called. Other people, there's a huge Steam thread. Somebody said game is no longer working, crashed to desktop. Also, wide mods no longer run. A fusion fix is broken. I don't understand the protection, the point of this protection. This scares me if in the future others adopt these protections because they will be able to say goodbye to mods. Now, the modding scene being affected is obviously going to be something that worries people, and somebody even noted they have been adding Enigma Protector to their games, even old games, maybe a part of their recent anti-modding stance. Truly incomprehensible, TBH. Now, this has been added to a bunch of older titles. Some of the older Resident Evil games have been added with this feature, and then somebody also noted that some of the language options have been removed, kind of a train wreck situation. The update also broke refresh rates. Every game launches and resets to 60 Hz, even if the config has a higher value and is read-only. It is an absolute clown show as far as this is concerned, and we do actually have a response from the Enigma developers, which is kind of wild. Obviously, this seems like this was just sent through a Google Translate machine or something like that. The statement reads, "Curious what action do you need from us, and what do you blame us that someone use our software? Someone use, we do not push to use it. What is our guilt, you think? And why are you so sure that all that you reported belongs to our software? Maybe you are so angry because you can't use the cheats anymore." Obviously, I would imagine in that statement some things are obviously lost in translation, because I would like to think that nobody would put out a statement like that if English is their primary language. Obviously, like that's what happened there. I know some people are gonna clown on that statement. It is a little bit humorous when you do dissect it from that standpoint. Now, this is worrying because Capcom classic titles, even if they don't implement it to their current releases, which I wouldn't understand why they wouldn't, given that, you're implementing it into your classic titles, you're probably gonna see how it's received there and then implement it into your older or your current titles as well. At least some sort of anti-piracy, anti-modding, DRM, whatever they decide to do. I can see, this is probably not the entire reason why you would want to combat modding, but for example, like the Assassin's Creed games have time savers built into them. They're like double XP boosts and whatnot, and you could like mod those games to like just add the time savers in there. You could multiply your XP, no problem. You install Wiimod or something like that, 2 seconds to just amplify your XP gain. And like an Assassin's Creed game, when the intention is Ubisoft wants to sell you those time savers, I can kind of I mean, I understand what the lens from the publisher would be in that viewpoint. Like, let's say Ubisoft in that scenario would want to prevent modding in their game. They're like, nah, we want to sell you these time savers. It's whack as all hell, don't get me wrong, if they would ever go that route, but I could understand if the idea was you have an anti-modding stance. Okay, we want to sell you these time savers, so to speak. That's like one area where I could understand why you would be anti-modding, because it's cutting into the money you want to make, but you know, the money you want to make is off nonsense, off selling double XP boosts. Like, let me not go into the Ubisoft diatribe again. But Capcom has had so much goodwill that it's like, why burn even a little bit of that goodwill? And obviously, this is only applicable to PC gaming, but this was the top post on Reddit's PC gaming section, and you know, stuff like this is going to gain traction. Is it going to push people away from buying the premier Capcom games, an RE4 remake, a Street Fighter 6, a Dragon's Dogma 2? Absolutely not. At least I don't think so. But stuff like this, like, why hinder your progress right now? You have so much goodwill. You are heralded as one of, if not the best publisher in all of gaming right now. Why do nonsense like this? And I get it, the actual game development and games coming out, it's one area where whoever's handling their DRM practices and how they view things like modding and piracy doesn't handle the actual development of the game. Now, that's what I would assume. I would be pretty confident in saying that. But it's like Capcom, everybody at Capcom, especially the higher-ups, should be on a unified front right now, being like, what we're doing is working. Just let's give some people some, you know, we're giving them Dragon's Dogma 2, we're giving them Street Fighter 6, we're giving them RE4, maybe let's greenlight a Battle Network 7, a Mega Man X9, let's greenlight an Okami 2, and man, we're gonna have so much goodwill. Capcom is one of those publishers that it's just like, yo, everybody, or at least a lot of publishers, are going really heavy into the live service round. Capcom tried it with Exoprimal and some of these other titles, but for the most part, they still have a core belief on their single-player projects, and not even just their single-player projects. Street Fighter obviously has multiplayer, but their other projects and their core IPs, they're still invested into that. Why do things that a lot of other publishers are doing? Like, don't go the Warner Brothers route. This is obviously entirely different from, you know, the aspect of a DRM being implemented, but just do things that are very pro-consumer. Like, it worked for Larian Studios and Baldur's Gate 3. Maybe at some point some of these publishers will pick up on that if you just build so much goodwill and drop quality products, like, people will spend a premium on those games. People will go back and buy your back catalog of games, and you'll get new players playing it, and you'll ultimately make a lot of money. Now, I am hearing some things about some of these updates being reversed as well, but from what I can tell right now, it's still a work in progress, and obviously if they're doing it in the first place, this is in their game plan, so we'll see how all of this ultimately shakes out. It is a little bit worrying, and again, it's like, can we have a nice thing? Like, Capcom, you're doing so well. Let people meme on Exoprimal if they want, but look at your game reception these days. You had multiple games, in my opinion, that were contenders for Game of the Year with Resident Evil 4 Remake and Street Fighter 6. You've got so much momentum. You're coming up on one of your biggest game releases in the last, 5 to 7 years, I would say, really of all time. I don't think that's a stretch whatsoever. I think Dragon's Dogma 2 is going to do really, really well, and it's going to be one of the biggest game releases of 2024, if nothing else. Like, let's just have some goodwill going and leading into March 22nd, and everybody will be happy. That's just my 2 cents. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. It's just, like, it would have been one thing if this was, like, EA. Like, okay, yeah, it would suck if they were doing this with, like, classic EA titles, but it's like, Capcom, you're doing a lot of good for the consumer, and, like, you're very much in the good graces of the consumer right now. Why go against that with something like this? But that'll do it for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.